Call the meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and the invitation following. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear God, please bless our elected officials. Grant them the wisdom to know and the courage to do what is right for all citizens. Amen.
Amen. Roll call, please.
Allen? Here. Green?
Here.
LaFour?
Here.
Mistrovich?
Here.
Rindell?
Here.
Ricks?
Here.
Warren?
Here.
Good to see everybody here again tonight. Approval of minutes for the city council meeting of October 16th would be in order.
Motion.
Support.
Motion been made and support. Any discussion on those minutes?
On page 4 of 5, under the mayor's comments, there's a family that there was a fundraiser for that is spelled wrong. We'll correct that.
Anything else? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. We also have the minutes from the City Council Quarterly Roundtable meeting of October 23rd. Is there a motion?
Make a motion.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. Is there any discussion on these minutes? Being not, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. We move on to audience comments on any non-agenda items, and I believe our one audience member is on our agenda for this evening. Gentlemen, nothing. We will move on to adoption of agenda. Mr. City Manager, any changes?
We do have a change. I would request the council adds item number 4, consideration of non-affiliated wage increase and changes to the non-affiliated personnel policies.
Council, any changes? Motion to accept the amended agenda would be in order.
Make a motion.
Support.
Motion made and supported. Any discussion on the motion? Being not, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. We move on to consent agenda. Is there a motion for the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. There's no discussion on the motion. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. We move on to items for consideration. This evening we have 4 on the amended agenda. The first one being consideration of special event requests, second annual Ride Richmond Ride, McLaren Macomb, and A Beautiful Me. Mr. City Manager?
Council is scheduled to consider a special event request submitted by Kelly Lavati from the Community Outreach Coordinator for McLaren Macomb for the second annual Family Bike Ride event, Ride Richmond. The event will be held over in our park on July 28th, starting at the pavilion with registration there, utilizing the pavilion in the community center. Again, it's the same weekend as our community garage sale, and we believe the vintage market, the rummage and relic sale. It was that weekend last year. Everything worked out very well, and the event went smooth, and kind of all of the events together added to each other's attendance. So we look forward to that kind of working well again this year. The route goes from the pavilion as the start. They go down Pool Drive to Beebe Street. They take Beebe down to Division Road, and then Division Road to the Trailhead Park. Last year, our police department helped them get from Beebe down to the trailhead along Division. Our chief of police was leading the pack on a bike, so I believe our police department will be involved again this year in helping them get safely down to the trailhead. Once they come back, they're kind of spread out, and they'll just filter back through. Many of them turned off and went down through the rummage and relic sale and through the community garage sale, so coming back isn't such a problem. They cross with the signalized intersection. They have vendors at the start under the pavilion, and a lot of activities for the kids and the families and everything like that. And the proceeds go to A Beautiful Me. And both Kelly and Karen are here tonight if you have any questions.
Would you guys like to address City Council or the public? I should say and/or the public.
Thank you for this time. We don't have anything prepared, but we just really enjoyed and we really felt like we were able to highlight this really beautiful community. And together, we just feel like no matter where we go to, that we can empower our young girls. We were just in Richmond Middle School. We provided a 4-week workshop series. And we're just really becoming invested in both the city and the township of Richmond.
We had a really good feedback and evaluation from people that did attend the event. They enjoyed it, they thought it was well run, they enjoyed the trail, so we're really looking forward to hopefully getting approval to do that again.
You had a number of bicyclists, from what I
We
understand.
had 130, yeah, 130.
That's very good for
first
It
time.
was very
your first
good.
time and out here and all the other activities that were going on in town. People were really looking forward to everything else that was going on in town, and we packed the town. But that was very, very good, so.
And we're here to get early approval because we found some venues that we can really promote the event and biker publications that people that do these types of rides often.
Good, very good.
Awesome.
We're looking forward to it, I'm sure. Any other questions? Thank you. Is there a motion, council?
I make a motion to approve McLaren McCombs Ride Richmond special event request to use a portion of BB Street Park on Saturday, July 28th from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m.
Support.
It's been made and supported. Any other comments? I'm sure as we get closer, there'll be a number on our website to contact whoever okay? Okay. Chief, did you do the 25 miler, or did you just get them across Main Street
I did
safely?
the 1 miler 25 times.
Your legs probably felt like it, right? Yeah. So would mine. Anything else? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Good luck. Item number 2 is consideration of approving resolution number 2017-14, Law Enforcement Mutual Aid Agreement. Mr. City Manager?
Council is scheduled to consider approving Resolution 2017-14, a resolution approving the reciprocal aid agreement and response protocol for police agencies within the county of Macomb. This is a mutual aid agreement similar to, on the fire side, the MABUS agreements that we have for both Macomb and St. Clair County. Obviously, if we have an officer that needs help, we reach out to those local jurisdictions around us. However, if we have something that's larger scale, this agreement sets the framework for reaching out to those other communities in Macomb that are further away that would then be able to provide resources beyond what we have. The participation as far as any individual event is voluntary based on judgments of the commanding officers on what resources we have at the time that are available to send. So it's not something that we're locked into and have to send somebody, but it's something that we can send people to, and then if we have a emergency that we need people to come back, we would be able to reach out to those communities to ask for that assistance. So again, it's very similar to some other agreements that we have in place, but this one is for the police side.
Very good. Chief, did you have any other comments along with this?
Basically, it's the Macomb Chiefs Association. When we reviewed this, we recognized that a lot of the chiefs that were signed the original document way back when are long gone. So this is just our attempt to freshen it up with the current chiefs and city managers and mayors and city councils.
Very good. Okay, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2017-14, a resolution approving the reciprocal aid agreement and response protocol for police agencies within the county of Macomb.
Support.
Motion's been made and supported. Any comments?
I have a question, sir. Was there a reason we didn't participate in it before?
We may have. We can't find where that document is, so it's not that we just weren't able to locate it, but we believe we did.
Yeah, I believe so, too.
Okay,
I
that's
believe
it. Okay, it
It
just
came before us.
We couldn't find the paperwork, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
okay.
and
I
didn't
thought
get
we
lost in
did.
the move or something
Okay.
along those lines.
And
so.
you're not the only one, because some of the other cities, when I asked, they couldn't find theirs either, so.
Any other comments? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Item number 3 is consideration of bid award sewer televising contract. Mr. City Manager?
Council is scheduled to consider awarding the 2017 sewer televising contract. Current legislation requires public sewer systems to maintain a sanitary asset management plan. Recently, the city was awarded a SAW grant, and that's to help us put together this plan. Earlier this year, our public service director, Jim Getzinger, myself, and then with assistance from Tetra Tech, began starting to implement that grant. We did a lot of the kind of inventory side of things this year with Tetra Tech, going out and verifying the locations of all of our assets, manholes, things like that, and getting them into a GPS system. And then that, coupled with information that Jim provided on the age of different sewer lines around town, we were able to come up with a map and kind of develop a sampling that we will use to televise areas of our sewer system that we feel represent certain age groups within the system. We will not be televising every single sewer, but we'll take, a sampling of sewers that were put in the 70s, sampling that were put in the 50s or 60s, and those in the 80s to get like a representative look at how the condition is. So with that, we bid out the service for providing the televising contract. The bids were reviewed based on price, deliverable, the quality of the product that they've been able to produce, as well as references on how well they worked with the communities. And so Jim reviewed those, and we are recommending that you award the contract to the low bidder, Greenscape.
Thank you. Jim, did you have any comments before council?
No, nothing really.
Okay. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to award the 2017 sewer televising contract to Greenscape in the amount of $33,000 to expenses charged to the sewer fund, sewer system, contractual services.
Support.
It's been made and supported. Is there any discussion?
Correct me if I'm wrong, Jim, but the grant pays for roughly, it's 90% of?
Yeah, the grant is 90%, 10%, it's a 10% match grant, so the actual cost to the city will be 10% of that, $3,300. And just one clarification is the actual quantity of sewer will depend on the budget. There's certain items as part of the SAW grant, and the televising and the rating of the sewers is one portion of that. So if there's extra funds available, there potentially we may televise additional sewer, to if we have the ability to do so. It's part of this total grant that we've been allocated, which we have already budgeted the full 10% match for that grant as a whole.
Well, under quantity, on the spreadsheet that we have, is that feet?
Correct, yeah.
Do you know how many miles we're doing of this? Because I see one of these is
Well, it's approximately
13,600.
Yeah, the budget for the project was based on an estimated cost that Tetra Tech had provided, so it's 44,000 feet total. Of course, 5,000 plus feet is a mile, so quite a bit of sewer that we're looking to televise. And again, if that's really starting with the oldest sewers moving up, when we get to the newer sewers to reach that 44,000, there are a few where we're taking a sampling, but quite honestly, all the oldest sewers, we're getting 100% of the old sewers, and just as we get newer, so that we only do some of it, not all of it.
Good, very good. Hopefully we don't find anything.
I agree.
Will this also, this is for the condition of the pipe, not necessarily for infiltration?
Correct. I mean, we'll certainly be able to find deficiencies, and we expect the contractor to identify problems with the pipe, and that helps us to see if there are any issues that need immediate correction. But the overall scope is to televise the sewer and grade it, if you will, rate it to see what condition it's in, so we can essentially make sure we're budgeting the right amount of money to replace sewers that are in poor condition, and make sure our rates, and so a big asset management is just to do the most for the least amount of money. That's a plan for roads, sewers, everything. That's kind of where we're headed, and that's the same thing for sewers.
Okay, and talking to the city manager, he was talking about our DPW is going to be using the Vector for
Yeah.
problem areas, or?
No, the intent, this is a little different. The majority of the cities, it depends on the size. Bigger cities certainly can't afford to dedicate their equipment for, so they have a contractor would typically clean it and televise it. We do need to clean the sewer to get a good televising of it, so our intent is to clean it ourselves because we get reimbursed, 90% or for our labor. So we're essentially, we feel saving money. We're able to charge the rental rate, MDOT rental rates for our equipment and put that back into our budget for equipment replacement, and then our labor, which of course we budget yearly for, we're able to charge that off and essentially get reimbursed. So I believe we'll be ahead in the end, as that's our intent by doing that.
Very good, very good. Any other comments? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Our final item is consideration of non-affiliated policies and wages. Mr. City Manager?
Council is scheduled to consider approving a wage increase for the non-affiliated personnel and changes to the non-affiliated personnel policies. The city council recently had formed a personnel committee. That committee met with myself as well as a committee of department directors. All of the department directors met several times to develop suggested changes to the non-affiliated personnel policies, and then they presented those to that committee last Thursday. And then I emailed this out over the weekend. But again, as we've mentioned in my background brief, about every 3 years, each of the union contracts come up for negotiations, and the union employees are able to negotiate changes to their contract and their employment agreements. The non-affiliated, historically, the city has once every 10 years or so formed a committee to look at the non-affiliated personnel policies and allow them to recommend changes to council. And so that's what they've done. What you have before you tonight is a recommendation on wage increase that matches what all of our union employees have received this year, as well as a increase to the employees' contribution to their health care premiums tied to that wage increase. The wage increase, again, is 3% with the 2% increase to their health care, which is the same as what everyone has received this year. And then there's several changes to the non-affiliated personnel policies. Again, all of those are similar to those that have already been negotiated on the union side. So it's kind of a catch-up for the department directors.
Yep.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
I make a motion to approve a 3% raise for full-time non-affiliated employees, part-time police officers, cemetery workers, and non-affiliated part-time employees regularly scheduled for more than 24 hours per week, a 2% increase to the employees' contribution to their health care premiums, and the proposed changes to the non-affiliated personnel policies.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. Any discussion? I'd just like to say thank you to the administration for getting everything together for us to get this started as a city council, and then the other members of the committee, Mike and Dennis, for spending the time to go through it all and get it all on one page, so to speak, and then with the help of the city manager, I think we had a very good, very thorough study on what it was all about. And in comparison, we were behind, as was pointed out, and it was good working with the staff. There was nothing that was, what I want to say, guys, they didn't try to push us over the edge at all. They were extremely reasonable in their requests and justified, and so that is what we are bringing back to the city council. There is still more work to be done to correct some of the deficiencies because of the changes in the way we have people working. They're full-time, part-time people rather than full-time directors. And there's quite a deficiency in some of the other benefits that would normally be given to the person that works full-time, 40 hours a week. People still need time for personal business and sick days and whatnot. And that's, I think, what got this whole thing going on the council realizing that. And also the fact that we're going to be more vigilant. The city manager is going to be doing more of the evaluations on a yearly basis. And we're going to stay on top of this for on now. Is what every
Correct,
effort's going
yes.
to be made to do that.
Both in the evaluation and in the wage scale, and taking a look at that so that we don't get off track.
Yeah, yeah. Because that only hurts us, it hurts our employees, of course, but it hurts us because if we have somebody that retires or moves on or whatever, and then all of a sudden we look at our scale and we can't even hire anybody yet under that scale. And so I think we've done a lot better job in the last so many years. It was 09, I think.
Yeah, we had a gap from '09 to about 3 years ago where
Yeah.
we didn't do anything.
Yeah,
And
so we're getting better, but it was a good thing. It was good for the community, good for the employees, and definitely good for us to all be able to work together and everybody be on the same page. So, any other comments, guys?
Yeah, I would just concur with what you said, but also it's kind of keeping everything in the same scale as far as across, what the people that are employees that work in the unions are making sure that we're keeping our non-affiliated up to the same level of standards, I guess. Yeah, so it was good. And I do appreciate the committee for all the work that we did on it, but then also the employees that were part of the committee on that side that brought a lot of stuff that we didn't know was there, and we were able to address it and make sure that their concerns were taken. That was very good.
And I'd also agree that just the information that was provided to us from the staff and the committee from the directors and that was more than adequate. There's more information than I've seen in a long time on things, and makes it our job that much easier to work with them.
Very good. Any other comments? All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Okay, we go on to city manager's comments. Sir?
I'll start off with the one where probably we're all getting comments from our friends and neighbors and residents. MDOT is still trying to finish the microsurfacing project. They are running out of weather rapidly. It needs to be above 45 in the day and can't drop below 32. They're hoping for a window next week. From this week and this weekend, the temperatures are too cold. Next Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, they believe they have a window to finish the project. They have had a lot of complaints on the quality of the product, and they did meet this morning out on site, and they're bringing somebody over from Lansing, their Lansing office, to take a look at it as well, based on concerns expressed by all of us repeatedly. And so we hope that they can get done and finished, and we will certainly keep council and everyone apprised of what's happening. But that's kind of where we're at now. Unfortunately, I think personally they kind of pushed their contractor back when we had great weather to get it done, and now they're staring down winter.
Have we talked about what happens if they don't get the temperature?
I have, but I haven't gotten what that answer is yet. I think they'll be this week probably.
They definitely need to get some markings down. Maybe not all of them, but
Right.
down at Muttonville, at 19 and Gratiot, people still don't know what's supposed to happen down there because all that's gone.
Correct.
We need to do some of our stuff for us to get us by. Otherwise, we probably can get by the winter with what's on there right now, but we definitely need the markings back up. But, yeah, poor planning, eh?
Yes.
Again, the city had nothing to do with that. Absolutely nothing. This is a Michigan Department of Transportation issue, and our administration has done every contact that I can think of, that the council's been able to think of, that you can do to try to get that project done. And Representative Yarrick is, from our district, has gotten involved with it also and tried to push the right buttons, and we appreciate that, but it just seems as though this is the way things go, and there's really very little that we can do because of
It's frustrating for all of us,
Yeah.
absolutely. Just a reminder to council, next Monday, the 13th, is our organizational meeting. That starts at 8 o'clock by charter, so it's 8 o'clock next Monday. Also, after that, we will have our photo for the calendar. So, and then a reminder, this coming Friday, I'll be off on vacation. So Friday, Monday, Tuesday, I'll be out of the office.
Very good. Enjoy your vacation.
Thank you.
Okay, council comments. Dennis?
Nope, nothing tonight?
Jamie?
Nothing tonight.
Emily?
I just wanted to share, I forgot the flyer for you to share it, I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor. On November 18th at 7 PM, there'll be a talent show at the auditorium. All the proceeds support an Operation Christmas benefit. So I believe it's $5 to get in.
Good.
And just a reminder to not only council, but those watching on Channel 6 or on our YouTube channel, if you have event flyers for your nonprofit groups, your churches, those sorts of things, Christmas events, please send them over to the city, jrobbins@cityofrichmond.net, and we'll get them up on our Channel 6 bulletin board.
Was that a public service announcement?
Yes.
John?
I have nothing.
Rob?
I just want to thank city staff, everyone involved in the Halloween event. I thought it went over huge, and everybody seemed to have a good time. So thanks for all the groups and organizations that pulled that together. I'd like to see that going for years to come.
Very, very good. Michael?
Yes, just one thing, talking about construction of property. The RAGS, Richmond Area Historical Society, the barn. I know there's been some work on it. It seems like it's been off and on, and people have been asking, when's it going to be done, or there's some kind of
I'll get some,
safety concerns, if
I got something last week, and unfortunately with kind of the Halloween event, it slipped through the cracks. I'll pull that up and get it out to council. Rich Weiner gave us an update.
Okay.
And I know there was some issues with the people doing the work, and so I'll try and dig that out and get it out to council. I forgot exactly what the email, the details of the email, but I'll get that out there for you.
Yeah, just to point out, it's not a city project, but it is on city-owned property right now. There's some concern for safety if people start climbing it, but I know we haven't had any issues,
There
but,
shouldn't be any.
yeah, so it's just like an update, and if it's gonna be closed off, if they're gonna get the roof on before winter comes, or, I get the feeling probably won't, but it's okay, I guess, too.
I think they're trying everything they can do. The weather was horrible for
Yeah.
them. Then they were into their crops, and then the replanting, and then they had more rot than what they had initially thought of. So they had to hand hone quite a few beams, so that put them behind also. Also, the leader of the construction crew had hurt himself, his back or something, so that put him behind schedule also. So there's been numerous things that have slowed them down quite a bit, but everybody's anxious to see it get done. But I think the construction that they're doing is dependent on each other. So there's no worry of anything falling down or anything else. It's, there's no concerns there. So, and I think isn't that tethered, roped off?
We did for the festival, and we can certainly go back up and do that again if we get to a point where there's not going to be, we took it down when they came back to work.
Sure.
But if there's going to be a long time where they're not working, we can certainly put the snow fence back up.
Yeah.
Thank you, that's it.
Okay, I want to echo what Rob brought up, the no tricks, just treats on Halloween night. I am extremely proud of our administration and Margot Van Hove from Parks and Recreation, the fire department, a bunch of organizations that handed out the candy, all the individual people. There was a number of people involved, even our Jason Robbins and Channel 6 filming on Sunday morning the original Count Richmond and his miraculous recovery, and it's going to be on Channel 6 soon. But a number of years ago when the Chamber of Commerce then executive director came to us, And we said, be careful what you're doing because you're starting a tradition. Well, she did. And sadly, that tradition, for one reason or another, went to the side here. The last few years, it wasn't very good. And so we picked it up. And I think we did an outstanding job in the short notice that we had. It was about good old days when we found out that it wasn't going to be done. And all the people that came forward and worked their tails off to get it done, all the organizations that came together at the last minute. I believe there was 17, was it?
16 or 17.
16 or 17 that showed up and handed out candy for the cold 2 hours that we were out there. The Count Richmond show, the library with their stories, and of course the work that the fire department had to do inside the hall to get everything out of there and then bring everything back in again was a great effort by all. And that's what this town's all about. That's what we want to continue to do, is have traditions like that. Those are the memories that we want to see our people have. And it's so nice to get organizations and groups and individuals working together for the common good of our community. That's what this is supposed to be all about. We're still a small town. And sometimes I think people don't think we're that small town anymore. We are. And when we lose that, we no longer will be a small town that we can all be proud of. So let's keep these traditions going. It takes a lot of work to do it. We found that out, but we're ready to do it again. And we got people already, Rob. You heard some of it yourself. We've got people that want in bad already. They want to sign up now because they know we only allow so much space, so it stays under control. So it was very successful, and I've not heard one bad thing about it. I haven't read on any of the social media anything that was said that was bad or we should have done something different or whatever. We've already talked about some of the things that we want to see that are better. But to me, these are the things that are so important for our community to continue to do. And so God bless those people who got out there and helped do all of this. So get off my soapbox here. We'll go to the calendar. And Chief, it was a very safe Halloween, was it not?
Yes, it was.
Very good. Good to hear. And sorry, I left out the police department. Police department was there to check candy. They're there every year. But they were all part of this also, checking the candy for everybody. So I'm sure I'm missing somebody. Everybody did a great job. Today being November 6th, we have an election tomorrow. There's 4 of us that are up and only 4 of us running. So congratulations early to everybody. But get out and vote. There is a planning commission meeting at 7 o'clock on the 9th here at City Hall. The library board will be meeting a week from tonight at the library at 7 o'clock. And the city council, as mentioned earlier, will have its organizational meeting where a mayor and mayor pro tem are selected at 8 o'clock on the 13th. Cable Commission will be meeting on the 14th at 7 o'clock here at City Hall. And the EDC will be meeting at 7 o'clock on the 16th here at City Hall. 2 weeks from tonight is our next city council meeting. So that everybody knows ahead of time, the City Hall and the library and community center will all be closed, of course, on Thanksgiving the 23rd, and also the day after, which is the 24th, Friday. The library will be closed on the 25th, which is Saturday. Christmas decorations will be going up in town by the volunteers on the 26th of November, the weekend after. The Santa Parade, we want to get that out there again. That's going to be the first Friday, as it has been in the past. That's December 1st this year. The Santa Parade and the tree lighting will still be happening at the old Richmond Auditorium on Main Street. And also, the other thing to note, the last day of recycling of yard waste will be November 28th. John, it's been mentioned by a few people, and I know in the past we've been able to stretch that out a little bit, but there's a lot of trees that haven't even turned yet.
We'll take a look at that and
Will we get there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll
Okay. A lot of people are concerned that I know some trees are completely bare, and other trees haven't even.
Yeah. Some trees before we hit October, it seemed like they were already gone, but then others hadn't turned at all.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we'll take a look the next couple of years.
Start shaking?
Or next couple of weeks.
Okay, now I also have a senior social Seats are still available. That's this Sunday, November 12th, at Manasi's Banquet Center. You can call 727-3064, which is our recreation department. They are handling this, and they are still selling tickets, and that is for November 12th. Okay, and then also, the recreation department is, in conjunction with Richmond Community Schools, has its hall walking for health, which is held at the Richmond Middle School on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. That started last week, and there is a $1 charge. And do you see where it says what time the walking starts? I believe it's 6 o'clock, but I don't see where it
Not
says on
listed
here.
on there.
No, it's not listed on here.
I believe
Call
it was
727-3064.
3064.
Our Parks and Recreation office, Monday through Thursday, and they can tell you what time that walking starts at the middle school. Appreciate the school working with us on that. And the Lois Wagner Memorial Library, this year will again have a mitten tree collection. It starts on November 6th through December 18th, and they will be collecting new gloves, mitten scarves, and hats for children and adults for the holiday season. You can get a hold of them by calling 727-2665, which is, I believe, 727-BOOK. You can give them a call and find out more about that. And those items that are collected there will be distributed by our Richmond Lions Club. Is there anything else that we need to talk to on the calendar? Being not, move on. There is no closed session this evening. Is there any other business of the city council? Being not, a motion to adjourn be in order.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Support.
Motion been made, supported. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Thanks for being with us.